Did you put us live?
Oh, yeah, you're live.
Shooting the shit here. Okay.
What are you going to do?
All right, let's do it. This is the Deeper Dive presented by Awesemo.com. Dave Lochran and Adam Shaw. A pretty heinous 4-game slate, but you know what? We do what we do, and we're here anyway because it's NBA season, and we are going to talk about every single slate, no matter what. Maybe not a 2-game slate, Adam. I don't know. Maybe we'll take the day off for that. But you got 4 games. You got a few guys that are out. Tyler Johnson. Wade's playing, though. Danilo Gallinari's questionable after he was not scratched, after he was ruled out several hours before lock with that illness. Dwight Howard's still questionable, but I'd be surprised if he played. Kawhi Leonard is in. Kyle Lowry, I should say, is questionable. CJ Miles and OG Anunoby are out. Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's it.
So do I. Anyway, what do you make of this one? 4 games, and pretty much, I don't know. No, there's no one above 10K, no one above 9,700, which makes it an interesting spot. Let me ask, before we just dive in, on DraftKings specifically, we got both sites pulled up here, DraftKings and FanDuel. You got John Wall, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Damian Lillard. Which one of these guys do you prefer most?
I prefer Lillard and then Kawhi, especially if Lowry's out, and then Wall. That being said, in my current single entry dummy lineup, I have John Wall just because I couldn't find the money yet for the other guys. And because of the way I constructed that roster, I liked having Wall in there. But, in a vacuum, I would go Lillard, then Leonard, then Wall.
All right. It's tough. I have Lillard number 1 in a vacuum. And then Wall and Kawhi are kind of a toss-up here. But Adam, this Wizards team, let's just dive right into it. We got Washington and the Clippers. No business wasting time. Clippers favored by a point on the road, 233 total here. So you got very friendly fantasy conditions. Clippers are playing at the 8th fastest pace this season. The Hawks didn't hurt that moving up yesterday. The Wizards, however, playing what? Where are the Wizards at in pace? They're also up there, I think. Yeah, 6th.
Either 6th or 8th, yeah.
Yeah, 6th. 6 and 8 here. So you got 2 teams that play at a fast pace. The Wizards have just been a disaster this season, Adam. And, I was actually doing some research on them today. Just, looking, there's all this internal dysfunction and turmoil. And Wall told Scott Brooks I think he told him to fuck off, right?
I think it was fuck you when he told him to
fuck off, fuck you, one of the two.
Yeah.
And then basically Scott Brooks asked for some intensity. He said, fuck you. And he goes, not that type of intensity. So that's good. Wizards are 5-11 though, man. They are reeling. Dwight Howard hasn't done them many favors. Many reports that Wall is still out of shape and overweight since coming into this season. I mean, it's been a tough go. And Bradley Beal's clearly open to trades.
Yeah, it's just an absolute nightmare. And whenever you're talking about like chemistry team and you're not even bringing up Markieff Morris or Dwight Howard, I feel like that gives you an indication of how bad things have gotten there.
It's pretty bad. Sorry, Ring Rim. Did not mean to hurt your virgin ears. But that's what Wall said, not me or not Adam. That was John Wall's remarks. Just so we're clear. Anyway, let's talk about it. 1 point spread, 233 total. Adam, easily the highest on this slate. What do you make of Washington here? Well, first, do you think Howard plays or sits?
I'm guessing Howard sits just because of the reports about him like being unable to put his socks on Sunday.
Yeah,
and I mean, it just seems like he came back from this injury and then re-aggravated it, and I just doubt that he ends up playing today. For DFS purposes, I hope that he doesn't. But I'm going ahead as if he's not going to.
As am I. I have a tough time believing that he's going to play. Matt Finessin says Wall is straight hood, and so is Laffy. Nah, Laffy's not living that hood life, man. I live in the burbs of Philadelphia. Anyway, backcourt, John Wall, you're getting him at I think it's a reasonable price point. We should probably it's only fair to factor in his lack of production for the most part this season. and really inability to put up monster numbers. You look at John Wall's just on the season, you look at his numbers, and you know this team. I'd say I know basketball pretty well, and I know the Sixers best. You know basketball well, and you know the Wizards best, just because you're around it all the time. But you look at his numbers, and his 3-point shooting is at 33%. It's the worst it's been for a while. He's there's nothing here that pops off the page as him having like a great season. His assists are down significantly. He is grabbing a bunch of steals per game, but are you seeing the same effort from John Wall as seasons past? Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, kind of, I guess,
yeah,
but like, it's so hard to quantify that. Obviously, I think a lot of his numbers being down is just a product of the team itself not playing well. I mean, obviously, we know that goes into assist numbers and everything, but I'm not worried about it from an effort standpoint. It's just a slow start to the season, I think.
yeah, probably. I mean, he's still going to play, right? Even when Jimmy Butler was in Minnesota, granted, we weren't getting his best, but Jimmy Butler was still playing and still had some of those 50 fantasy point games, right? So it's not like you write John Wall off for it. And then Bradley Beal on the other side. Beal's actually having a good season. I mean, I have no issues with Bradley Beal. Talk to me about this backcourt. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think both of them, especially Wall, do get a boost if Howard doesn't play. If you look at Wall and Beal alongside each other this season without Howard on the floor, they played 277 minutes. You have a 30% usage rate for John Wall, 42.73 DraftKings points per 36 minutes, so about 1.2 points per minute. When you put Howard on the floor with that group, it drops down to about 1.1 for Wall. His usage decreases all the way to about 24.5%. So I think that it's a better spot for Wall if Howard's out, and that makes sense. We saw it last year with Kemba as well. Not having Howard in there on offense really helped out Kemba. You're seeing kind of the same thing this year with Wall. Beal has been more consistent regardless of what Dwight Howard's doing. You're getting enough facilitating from Beal along with the second highest usage rate on the team, averaging between 1.05 and 1.1 fantasy points per minute. So I do like both of them here. I think that Beal's price tag on DraftKings is particularly nice at 7,800. But I think that Wall's price is fair as well, and I like him more if Howard's out.
Yeah, Dwight Howard does a whole lot to just absolutely sap production from point guards. As you mentioned, we saw it with Kemba Walker. It's not even really a usage thing, but I will say this season, John Wall has a 24.8% usage rate, 1.16 fantasy points per minute, and a 37% assist rate with Dwight Howard on the court. 24% is not what you're looking for. 1.16 isn't going to kill you when you're playing huge minutes per game, and the 37% assist rate, you're not gonna cry about that either. But with Dwight Howard off the court, John Wall's assist rate pretty much stays the same. His usage is at 30%, and he produces 1.25 fantasy points per minute. So there you go, another example of point guards doing significantly better with Howard off the court. I don't think Howard plays today. Let's assume he doesn't, not just to say you're more interested, but if Howard doesn't play, do you put John Wall ahead of Kawhi Leonard?
No.
Okay. So Howard doesn't swing Wall that much for you.
No, I mean, I still think that at least where they're similarly priced, Leonard's the better point per minute producer, regardless of where Dwight Howard is, and regardless of if Kyle Lowry's playing.
Fair enough. Markieff Morris if Dwight Howard is out.
Yeah, I think it makes the entire team more appealing. Granted, we'll have to wait and see what starting lineup they roll out there, because on Sunday when they played Portland, we actually got a DNP CD for Jan Mahinmi, which I think was surprising. In that second half, Howard didn't play, but you actually started with Markieff Morris and Jeff Green in the front court. So if that happened, then obviously Washington is looking to play small, and it would make those guys even more appealing. I'm expecting that Mahinmi starts and matches the Marcin Gortat minutes, and that you get Green and Keefe splitting the minutes at the 5 behind him. But either way, it makes it more appealing because with this Washington team can go small, and Keefe is more productive when he plays the 5. I think that his price tag on FanDuel in particular at 4,400 is really nice.
Yeah, if Howard's out, you're pretty much forced into getting some Markieff Morris into your life. It hasn't been pretty lately, but you've seen some not close games. We talked about Morris's minutes, expecting them to increase. you wrote the deep dive today, so I'm sure you put some work into looking at this. Last game, 19 minutes, 20 minutes before that, 21 minutes before that. That was a massive blowout. But do you make anything of Morris's steep decline in minutes over the last 2 games, not including the Cleveland blowout?
It's just tough to trust Scott Brooks with his rotation right now. I mean, this team's just playing so poorly that we've seen him basically take an approach where, he's going to try anything to try and win games. But we've also seen him be